Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
And welcome into a very special DeathPiles and Taxes Holiday Edition bonus show. Oh, you know what that means? Extra work means extra dooskies.
I waited about 45 minutes just to do that on air because you gave me the hard time when I faked it last time.
They're still cold. That's all that matters. I'm Derek, aka D. Roy Everett, on all the social media, and I'm here with Adam Up Accounting Zone, Adam Beasley.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you could make it tonight.
We got back. I'm sure you just heard the previous episode, which was all pre-game stuff in San Jose.
What a great time we had in California.
We did, but then that kickoff had to happen.
What kickoff?
Yeah, that's where we'll leave that. But while we were down there, we Ubered around, Lyfted around, and we're all around town. Besides what our new friend of the show, which I know everyone's loving, that Michael Painter, drove us around a bit.
Especially Bev. She loves that Michael Painter.
Bev loves Michael Painter because that's his mother. But we were going around with Lyft drivers and Uber drivers, and we had one guy. So I saw Adam in action. First off, he is the master.
It's one of those things. I know I talk about it. I really like it, man. I like getting an opportunity to sit in there, talk to somebody for whether it's 5, 10, 20 minutes. You get a real chance to talk with somebody.
Now, if you're doing one of these, this is mainly going to be about driving Uber and Lyft.
And it is. It's the gig economy. It's also if you're doing
the gig economy. Yeah, we'll talk about other things.
DoorDash. Anytime you're delivering things, you got to pay taxes.
You're delivering or any kind of side hustle that's not necessarily. We focus on eBay e-commerce. This is more just general side gigs.
Because most people who are hustling on eBay, they're trying other things. Like, it's just that mentality.
But here's how you read your crowd if you're doing that kind of a thing. If Adam's in the front seat trying to chat you up, talk to the guy. If Derek's in the back seat with his headphones on, you just chill, right? I think we had one driver that kind of had a hard time with all that.
Yeah, he was an interesting dude.
But anyway, that being said, we were driving around San Jose, and Adam was talking with a lot of these guys like he says he does. And the questions came up about every time we get talking, and he'd bring up taxes as his profession. Number one question is,
I got to file taxes. What does that mean for me?
What can you tell me about? So as a Lyft driver, as an Uber driver, I got to do taxes this year. What do I need to know?
There's countless things. There's so many podcasts, YouTube videos that are out there. It's a very boring subject, but you don't think about it as boring. You think about it. How can I pick dollars and cents off of the ground? By making this, you're actually driving more people because you're going to make more money by doing the right thing.
And I was surprised the professions. So we talked to him, and one guy was an X-ray radiologist doing it.
Yeah.
What are some of the other careers? I mean, there's some people that had some pretty high-profile jobs.
Yeah, slinging, and especially in California, you know what? You can't make enough money because it costs $1 gajillion to live there.
And this was their side gig.
It's always their side hustle.
Oh, that lady that travels the world, and this is how she gets the money to go on 3-month-long cruises and that kind of thing. So
that's true.
So I mean, it applies to about everyone. But they'd say to Adam, "Okay, Adam, I'm the driver. I'm the driver. What documents are going to come in the mail here? What do I need to know about that?"
You're going to get a 1099 here in the next, probably 2 months. They usually come out before January 31st. And newsflash, most of the time you're not going to get it in the mail. You're going to get an electronic sent to you, so you need to be responsible for that.
So I'm going to be checking my emails, checking your account. I'm sure they let you know. Somebody lets you know where that ends up.
Anytime somebody pays you, you're going to find it. But the thing you have to realize is you're going to get one from every entity that you drive for. So if you drive for Lyft, you'll get one from them. Uber, you'll get one from them. You're doing DoorDash, Grubhub, any of these other delivery type things, you're going to get one. You're slinging on eBay, you're going to get something from them. Etsy, Amazon, any of these online retailers, they're going to be sending you tax documents. And if you don't match that up, on your tax returns, you're going to get a nasty letter saying you owe more money on your taxes that you never want to see.
No, this is general. Talk to your tax person, come talk to Adam, whatever. But generally stating, what kind of things am I able to write off as, we'll just go with the drivers because that's where we're at.
So this is one of the important things, okay? When you're driving, you're going to get your little, notifications that come up and says you drove this many trips and you had this many miles. But you know what? That app is just for while you're on the clock. They're not keeping track of how many miles it takes for you to drive from San Jose to San Francisco if you're not on the clock. Unless you're like clocked in, ready to pick people up, you may not be ready that. You may be driving up there, or you may be transitioning from an Uber to a Lyft at that time. And so that's your biggest thing, is tracking all of your miles. So doing something like Mileage IQ, it's an app that is in addition to your other things, because that only garners that time period that you're in there. It doesn't track everything you're doing. So keep track of all of your miles so that you can say, this is what I'm doing on the clock. Because most be honest, most of the time when people are out doing these things, like, they'll clock in while they're, hanging out on a Saturday night. They might only be driving for a little bit, but you got to get there. So that's the biggest one, especially for any driver, is your mileage.
Now, remind everyone of what the mileage currently is at. Some people, I know, even on eBay, you're going to yard sales, you're doing this, that, and the other, and you think, is it really worth my time?
It's absolutely. It changes every stinking year. It's always about 55 cents. Some years it's down to 53, some it's up to 58. So just count on 55 cents.
Some 55.
Yeah.
So you're talking 4 miles, you're already a couple bucks.
$2.
So, think about that.
And you're saving that in taxes. So you're probably anywhere from about 25 to 30%. So that $2 really turns into, about 60, 70 cents.
I know a lot of people will drive across town in traffic to save 3 cents a gallon on fuel. But something like that, they don't log into or say it's not worth it to go yard selling, to log that kind of stuff.
It's worth your time. Like it says, if you're not doing it, every time you're driving, just like throw dollars out the window. Make it rain, and some guy on the side of the street will be happy, because that's what you're doing. You're throwing money out the window.
Okay, now, what else do we got with our cell phones?
Cell phone, like I said, that's your biggest thing. I mean, that's your mini computer in your pocket. Hopefully you've gotten smart and you're using Visible Mobile, and it's saving you every single month.
You're making the big bucks now.
Now now instead of paying $120, $130 a month, you're paying $40, which that's the end game. Is you want more money in your pocket. Like, you don't want to spend it. You don't want to say, well, I have a $150 cell phone bill and I don't really care because, I'm going to write it off as a tax deduction. No, you want a $40 tax bill or a cell phone bill, so you can put $90 in your pocket. So
how does that work? So I have a phone bill, I just save what I'm paying a month. How do I break that down from when I'm working? How do you log this kind of stuff?
The biggest thing is like I said, you need to kind of have an idea. Most of the time, if that's your thing, we're going to write off anywhere from 25 to 75% of what your cell phone is. Because honestly, there's going to be some personal things, but most of the time now, like, it's pretty involved, because your cell phone is your GPS, it's your internet, it's your social media. If you're doing this as a good, promote your own business. Like it says, you are a driver. Your driver is your business. And there's a lot of unique things you can do as a driver to make yourself special, stand out. One thing that I saw as I was looking, like, if you're like providing drinks, like, find out, like, put water in the back or put gum or something like that, or like, if some guy would have had a Diet Mountain Dew in the back for me.
Oh, man.
Ooh. I never thought about that, but, like, if I were hustling, like, I would have, like, an ice chest in the back, like, in my trunk, and just be able, Mr. Everett, what beverage can I get for you?
Hey, there you go. You get that 5-star review plus a good tip.
And those beverages you can write off as an expense. So now it's like, because, I mean, I would have gave the guy $5 just to give me a Diet Mountain Dew, because they're impossible. So
yeah, impossible to find in a lot of places.
You got to be creative. That's one of the benefits. Is the more you're doing it, the more creative you can get.
Okay, same guy, Daniel, who we said we'd do the show for and dedicate it to. So here you go, Daniel.
What a stud that Daniel.
Shout out.
We are those guys. We might not look like it, but we are those guys.
And also, if you're an Uber, Lyft driver, whatever, please feel free to share this show. I know most of our stuff is focused on eBay, but it's all the same concept. So share it with other drivers, because he said they get together and talk about this kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
they didn't really have answers. So we said, hey, we'll answer that for you.
We're trying to make some fresh content. We're trying to make it a little more palatable.
Make it not so boring.
Yeah.
People not falling asleep while they're driving those Lyft drives.
I was just watching several videos, and some of them are outdated, old. But man, I was getting tired, man.
Okay, so you got your expenses. As far as like car detailing, car washes.
Absolutely. We've got that fast pass. We pay like $20-$30 a month. We drive through it. I didn't see many in California. Maybe they don't have them, but
I don't know. We didn't see. I mean, to go a mile, it took like 3 hours. It felt like. So we didn't go into a lot of the different areas.
No.
I mean, I'm sure there's car washes in California.
But absolutely. I mean, yeah, keep your car clean. Like, if I want to get in a car, I mean, it gives me a better ambiance. Absolutely. That is 100% right off the ball.
What about your car payment, your gas, your tires, all that kind of stuff?
Like I said, most of those times, what happens is you either get actual expenses or mileage. For what you're doing, I'd say 95% of all drivers are going to want to do the mileage. That's what they want to do, is keep track of those mileage. And we've talked about this in the past. Like, this is, there's credit cards 100% dedicated to fuel for a rideshare driver. So if you're doing this, I would definitely encourage one of those, because the nice thing, what it does is that card, before you can fuel up, it makes you enter the mileage for where you're at right now, which is really, really good, because then you create a digital footprint. You're making sure that you're keeping track of where you're going. So that's one thing you for sure want to keep track of. Obviously, same thing, you're going to want to know for your own records, keeping track of, how many miles you're driving, your expenses, like getting routine maintenance, tires, anything that you're having to do to maintain your vehicle. Because if you're doing this long enough, you're going to throw on some mileage. You're going to throw on a lot of
What
mileage.
about your vehicle payment itself or anything like that?
Most of the time, like I said, you're going to want to pay that out of your personal account, not your business account, because we're going to be giving you mileage, and that's going to be higher than what your payment is going to be. Like I said, that 5% where that would make sense, like you're really going to need to be driving, a $75,000, a very expensive vehicle, and making a lot of coin doing this. Like, unless you're making, like, netting 60, 70,000 and driving a vehicle that costs $60,000 or $70,000, you'll be doing mileage.
Okay, so we got that kind of figured out. They were talking about home office type stuff, that kind of thing.
All this stuff like this is keep track of, when you go home, when you're doing all of these things, like I said, entering in your data, saying, I drove this many miles, or I spent this much getting Derek a Diet Mountain Dew and a cupcake from Walmart. Keep track of those things. If you have an office, like it says, keep track of it. That's kind of one of those weird gray areas. It just really depends. Like, there's a lot to it. It all depends on how much money you're making.
So in that case, you're going to want to get you a good tax person, hopefully somebody that knows something about what you're doing.
Yep, absolutely. And it's funny, because a lot of these videos say, well, go on and do it yourself. That is an option, but you get what you pay for.
Well, here's a quick other story, and we'll get back into this. At the airport with Adam, and he's talking about people. We got delayed in Phoenix for a little bit. And he starts talking to this attorney. Was she a tax attorney?
She was, yeah.
And so they're chatting it up, and me and her husband are just kind of looking at each other like, I don't know, they're speaking a foreign language here, what have you. But in a joking manner, I don't remember what you guys were talking about. She said, well, they can just go do it for themselves at H&R Block, and no one cares, and they won't. I don't remember the context of the conversation, but basically, you're going to get yourself screwed over if you go to H&R Block instead of doing it with a professional with certain things. When you're getting into detail. That was the way I understood her telling it. You're not saying this. This is the way I heard her say this to you.
Here's the best part. You know what? You can look on your Uber drivers and you can see how they're rated. You can do the same thing for accountants now. Go online, Google the person you're looking at, do your own research, and you can see, here's this person's online reviews. You're going to find somebody who fits your needs.
Basically, you can do it yourself, and you might get in trouble. You can go to H&R Block or some of these places, and they'll do exactly what you tell them to do.
Yep.
They won't say, hey, what about this or that, A, B, C, here's some options. They're just going to print it out for you, get you through, and do your taxes, which is great, but it might not be, if you're running a small business and stuff like that, it might not be advantageous to you.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and do your reviews, and there's lots of, good places. You know, the nice part is we are in the same gig economy. You can use through TurboTax. You can use through H&R Block online. You can have a virtual like accountant, which is really good because now they can provide that service to you in person. I don't know. I'm one of those guys, like, you want to know what's going on with your stuff. The more educated you are about your own taxes, the better off you're going to be.
Okay, so what about mills? I remember something came up about mills. What's deductible that way?
The same thing. Like, says if I'm buying stuff for you in the back seat, like,
Well, what about it's not for me? What about I just dropped Derek off at the airport? I'm hungry. Burger King's across the street. I go get a Whopper.
you're on the clock. Like it says, you are on the clock. That is going to be a tax deduction to you. The one thing that is the caveat, okay, this is kind of that new nitty gritty gray area, is entertainment. Is entertainment needful and necessarily? With the new tax stuff, they took off entertainment. So if you are going to, for instance, take me to something besides a restaurant, let's just say you're going to take me to a football game, those tickets are allegedly no longer a tax write-off. So those are one things, like I said, consult your accountant about that. But meals, absolutely, they are, especially while you're on the clock.
Okay. So how would you log? I mean, is this just writing it down in a notebook or just whatever you're comfortable with when you're out driving? How do you? I mean, with eBay, it does it all kind of for us.
Yep. Two things. Make sure you have a bank account and a credit card. Those are the two things that you absolutely want that have nothing to do with your personal stuff. Okay. I don't want to know what things you're buying on the internet that are not related to your driving, to your eBay, whatever. Keep them separate. And when you make money, transfer it from your business account to your personal account and do all your personal spending there. Okay?
All right.
Can you do that?
Well, I can't. I don't know if Daniel can. He's not here to vouch for himself.
I know that Daniel can. Now, you on the other hand, I don't. You like to mix and mingle.
I do mix and mingle.
You
If I
are.
was doing the DoorDash, I'd be stealing fries.
You would be munching and mingle at that point.
I'd say, I don't know what happened after your sandwich got ate.
Sorry, sir, but no. The whole reason is just you want to keep your life simplistic. You don't want to have to, at the end of the month, end of the year, which is 99% of the people, they do it at the end of the year. They'll go through and change anything. There's a lot of, apps, go on, search which one you want. Like I said, Mileage IQ is great. You have QuickBooks Self-Employed that's great. You use GoDaddy Bookkeeping. There's several different ones out there. We live in an app world. They'll track everything you do at every single moment.
And they also all have reviews, like Adam said, so go read the reviews, not just the top ones. Go through about 20, read the bad, read the good, and decide which one's going to work for you. Maybe try them out.
Type in the Google machine, what apps do I need as an Uber Lyft driver? It'll pull up a list. People do that all day long.
So are we missing anything else? I know we said we were going to run over this. The gig economy, mainly the drivers out there.
Enjoy what you do. I guess that's kind of the way I look at it, is put your own spin on it. Like it says, you're doing this for a living, and you can either have fun at it or just look at it like a job. Like, enjoy what you do.
The JOB. What about you have like a satellite radio or
Absolutely.
you're downloading podcasts like this on your phone?
Like I said, those are all write-offable expenses. I mean, they're 100% business related. Download them. I think like Audible. I have Audible. I use that for business expense. I'm constantly listening to business books, any other type of service. Because like I said, you get what you pay for. There are some times that you're like, wow, I really want to get better at this little thing. And you may pay $150 for, some sort of educational thing. Yeah, absolutely. Put it on a part of your business expense.
Well, man, this might be the record-setting shortest episode in DeathPiles in Texas history.
Well, it's not. We got some other good stuff. You're
Yeah, this is just the bonus. Throw it out there.
The engineering team is going to do some amazing stuff with this.
Hey, the engineering team said if they don't get some more money, they're done. I tried to rationalize with them. I tried to talk them out of it, and they said, no, for the amount of recognition we get, we need like big checks, double figures, double comma llamas kind of stuff.
I'm fresh out of one, so I only got 5s and 20s, and we ain't paying the engineering team that.
Yeah, that's the problem, they said.
I'll give you the old American Express Gold card. You can go to town.
Will do. So, anything else you're adding here about the gig economy? I'm trying to think anything we're missing. I guess if we are missing anything, if you got a question, hit us up at DRoy Everett on Twitter and
you can go to
Instagram.
Go to the Add 'em Up Accounting website.
Add them up, chat them up.
There are some of those questions we answer them there on the website. Also, just search online. Like I said, you want to know more about it? You're running a business now. You better dang well know what to expect.
You want to come over on the Facebook group, chat it up, we get questions there.
Yeah, we're getting some good questions.
You want to hire Adam? Maybe you can afford him, maybe you can't, I don't know.
Hey, you know what? You can.
I can, but not many folks can.
That's
He's getting limited in
fake news.
Limited in his ability to take on more clients.
Fake news.
He'll take them all day long. So, well, either way, we had a great time, and shout out to all the guys out there busting it, and women. I mean, we did have a few lady drivers too.
Great.
I just say guys and just blanket in general, and then I feel like I'm not.
Go out and hustle and make enough money. You can go to Antarctica.
Also, let me say this: El Chundale.
Echandole.
No one even batted an eye. I think I was bamboozled. I think hustle. I think it's valid.
I know it's valid.
So
Echandole, amigo.
all right, Adam. If you don't got anything else, you know what that means.
There's two things that are certain in life, buddy.
That would be even if you're Uber driving.
Even if you're Uber driving.
Well, I don't know how much DeathPiles you get Uber driving, but you get like all the receipts and stuff added up.
I guess there's three things that's certain. Anytime I go on vacation, I am taking a ride share. That's number one. Oh, the other thing, I guess I gotta finish it out.
Go for it.
Interesting thing is we were price shopping while we were doing this. You'd pull up your Lyft, I'd pull up my Uber, and depending at what time, some were more expensive,
And some were like greatly, like $10, $15 both. And it didn't matter the app. Sometimes it was Uber, sometimes it was Lyft. After the game, I'm sure we'll talk more about this, but we walked a good amount. That's a whole other show. That's a whole other show, but
like I said, if you are going on vacation, like I said, look at both of them. There could be a potential of saving a little coin. But those are the three things that are certain. When I go on vacation, I am taking some sort of ride share.
We're going to come home. I came home with a death pile.
You did come home with a death pile, and I gained several LBs. And we are all going to die.
No, it was taxes. It was taxes.
I thought it was death and then taxes.
No, I think we covered that with the bringing home the death piles.
Tax to death.
Tax to death, that's true.
That's a true statement, so. Well, it's that time of the year. It's time to file your taxes. What a daunting task. Can you imagine sitting in your basement, taking all 12 months of all your receipts and just trying to figure that out?
I got that shoebox full of receipts, and I'm going to make this work.
And then what do? You get online and you try and figure it out yourself. It ain't worth it, man. Hey, you need to file your taxes. Go to adamupaccounting.com. We'd be happy to help you. We understand resellers like crazy. We know how to file your taxes. We know how to put all your expenses in the right categories. We know how to take care of it timely, that you feel like, oh, this is well worth it. I should have been doing this my entire life. Look at Derek. Look what he used to be. And look what we've got him trained into now.
I'm a champion.
That's what your Twitter says. So go to adamupaccounting.com. You can find us on there. You can message us directly. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you out so that we can decrease the stress that you have coming up in the next few months.
Hey, we're all trying to save some money this holiday season, and a great way to do it is with our friends at Visible Mobile. They offer unlimited everything. Talk, text, data, a mobile hotspot on that phone, and of course, if you tell them that you're with us at the DeathPiles and Taxes Show, you're going to get 20% off. They have a bunch of other great deals as well, so go over and look at visible.com to see what they have to offer. Use our code BBWBQ. I know that's long and awkward, but it's going to be in the show notes, so use it, and we'll hook you up.
That'll be great, because then I can use my extra cash buying stuff on eBay.